Okay, Rami, before we hand over to Igor, I just thought I'd give you the floor if you'd like to make a little introduction, or give Igor or myself some guidance, and then of course Igor will give his presentation.
All right. So I think from the introduction that I had by Igor and yourself, but in particular Igor, that we spent some time together in Israel, and he showed me the gist of what it is. I think that this is a space that there's very few jewelry retailers in Australia who appreciate how big and how profitable and valuable this segment of the market could be to them. And I don't think they have an understanding, I know I don't, the extent. Sure, we all hear about Amazon or Alibaba, but we don't necessarily think of ourselves as being able to sell into these platforms, or if, what are the other platforms available? Is that where we want to sell? Maybe not. And then if we were to sell it, how do you manage that space and how you make it effective? And because of what I saw, I thought you guys could be able to provide such a good insight into how to take those initial steps and understand it better, and then get a bit of a taste for what's possible if one was to go into that space and use software like yours.
Okay. Igor, I'm switching over to mute. The floor is yours.
So normally I very much prefer being very, very focused. So if, for example, we decide, okay, I speak to Rami, and Rami is a jeweler who is going online or is already online. He has some plan in his mind. So I take the specific business, I work with a specific case, because literally it's impossible to cover all the opportunities that there are online. And it's important to understand that they are related to your business. So there is no one way to work online. It makes no sense. Exactly as we work differently offline, the same is online. So normally I take very, very specific the business that you have, and then we go from the business into the technology, because technology is of course secondary to the business itself. Now today it will be a little bit more difficult for me on one side. So what I will ask, if there are some specific questions, simply please feel free. Maybe on the second part, as Keith said, feel free to ask, and I will be more focused. So having said that, so welcome to Valigara. Just a short background: Valigara started as, by mistake, of course, as all the things happened almost 7 years ago, when the family of my business partner, they are jewelers, and they came and they said, okay, we want to sell online. And before doing that, they're classical family business who were working with several stores and with two retail chains in the United States, and they were struggling because they were working with the Walmart, with really very difficult operation for them, because they were a small business, and it was very big inquiries that they received, and they say, look, guys, please take us online somehow. And this is how it started. We started to take them slowly to eBay, to Etsy. We created a website for them. At the end, they stopped working as a wholesale business, as an offline business. They completely switched to online, and they had a very nice operation online. So from there, I actually took on myself the operation of all this, and my business partner, who is a technical person, he said, wait a second. I said, wait, please help me with this. Help me with this. I need some automation for this, because they had about 800 products when we started, and I said, well, I don't want to type 800 titles. So wait, I don't remember what is my existing stock. So please, let's start creating some, just we started with Excel as everyone. And I said, okay, let's make something for this, something for, storing the images and then storing the stock. And then wait, I don't want to remember here what is the metal, what is the gemstone, and so on and so on. And this from here. And now I want to quickly update all the titles on eBay because now it's Christmas time. And this is how we started to actually technically build the system. So this is where the rest is a history. So what is important for me is that the whole system was born from the jewelry side and the technologies, of course, first of all, starting from the jewelry. So as much as I understand, most of you are currently not having a heavy, or let's say having a critical mass, and statistically in a business the critical mass of e-commerce, so that the business will start taking e-commerce seriously, is at 8%. It's very nice statistics. Before that, if this is not happening, it's like saying that there is no e-commerce in the company at all. So if we're not at this critical mass, so I will just make an assumption that the e-commerce is not established. So what we actually do in Valigara, I'm not diving into features immediately. I will just try to understand what is the concept. The concept of Valigara is that 80% of your work to sell online is done before you sell your first item. What does it mean? To go online, you have to first of all prepare your product. So if I will just take, I will just go to Etsy. Okay, like this. I will just take one of the clients which comes into my mind. Okay, so this is one of the clients, and he is selling on Amazon, on Etsy, on eBay. He has 2 Shopify stores. He's one of the serious Etsy sellers in the of Etsy, and continuing to grow. They are very established. They use the advanced logistics solutions. They use, of course, email marketing, social marketing, less social marketing, more e-marketing. So for this, actually, when I click on this item, okay, to have this item online, before you have this item online, there is a lot of work you have to do without having anything on Etsy or eBay or Amazon. So you have to photograph your items. You have to price them correctly. You have to establish the logistics. You have to establish the customer service to be able to actually, speak English and support it in the right time zone. And to do this, it's nothing technological. So if I don't have the right person to operate it in my company, I will not be able to use the technology. So I need to photograph. I need a photographer. I will need somebody who knows how to operate, how to price correctly, and how Etsy works. I need somebody who knows to send the items once they were sold. I need somebody to talk to the clients and make the online sale. And actually, this preparation, I have to be able to create some budget. Even if it's not a big one, I must be able to allocate some budget to operate my online business. So the idea that going online is just a technology is completely wrong. Okay, so we need to understand that there are some, we call it e-commerce pillars, which is the logistics, the customer service, the administration, the budgeting, and the technology. These are the pillars which we need to establish in order to sell online. So what we try to do from the Valigara side. Wait a second. We are not talking about Etsy. We are not talking about eBay yet. and not about Shopify or whatever technology, or not even about the social. The first step of you going online is to digitize your business. Does this make sense till now? It's important for me to have some signs of life, like saying,
okay, so it's Rami speaking. Yeah, it's very clear what you're saying. You're saying you have to digitize everything in your business first before you can start to fill out, tick all these boxes. In other words, create the pillars of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think you're very clear in how you're presenting this.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. Thank you for this feedback, and also it's important for me to know that I'm not speaking to myself. So the first step of what we do in Valigara actually has nothing to do. It's nothing to do with online. Why? Because to go online, to go to eBay, to go to Amazon, we have to be digitized. So the first thing, and it's a test account, you will see zeros here in orders and sales, a test account. First of all, assuming that I have a business which has 2,298 products, I have to digitize my business. So what actually Valigara does, it's an online catalog. It's creating the catalog. So if I have this product which has five images, I want to create some space where I will be able to store all the information about my product. So there are two professional terms that one of them probably you have known, which is ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP system, when you give the information in Valigara, store the information about metals, about the gemstones, if there are, about the sizes, about the weights, about all the images information. This is the one part. First of all, you have to have somewhere your information online. Why is this important? Because unlike offline, and this is the critical part, unlike offline, what we sell online is not the product. Online, we sell information about products. And that's all the difference. So if I want to sell this item offline, when the person comes into my store, he doesn't really care about how many millimeters is the ring shank or earring or some styling and stuff like this. What the person needs is the product itself. Now, online, first thing to do will be is to create the information, because when this item goes online, or when I get Etsy and I want to buy this, what I really need to know to buy this, I need to know what is my gemstone, what is the gold. I cannot read it on the item itself, and I don't have the seller to explain it to me. I have to be sure on what I am buying, and it will be critical for me to create this information for the products. Okay, so the first will be to digitize. Here, okay, this is my item. It has nothing to do now. You don't see anywhere anything about eBay. It's just the information about the product. Okay, so what are the sizes? What is the width? What is the depth? What are the dimensions? What is the length maybe of the chain? If it comes, what are the weights? What are the images? Just information about the product. Make sense? Yes. Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you. So what would be the next? So if you look at Valigara from this perspective, you will see that here, when we started actually to work 7 years ago, we mentioned that what is different between selling a chair and jewelry. That jewelry has a very specific structure. And what is the structure? Built of the models and the gemstones. Okay, and what is that? We need very often when we sell online, actually we have one gemstone, and the difference of, as we said, the difference of between selling online and offline, we do not have to work with the real inventory. In many cases, it's just a promise to send the item in all cases, actually. So when I go to Etsy and I buy this item, I don't really care if this item physically exists or it does not. So the only thing that is interesting for me, I will just go here and I just, okay, expect it to be delivered until, you see here in end of October. So the major switch we need to do in our head when going online is that you don't sell products, you sell information about products. It's an info business. So from this perspective, it's very critical because it also opens us a huge opportunity. Because if we have a gemstone, and this gemstone, let's say it's a diamond, it's GIA certified diamond, which actually the only thing that limits my capacity is how many diamonds I have in my safe box. Now, I have virtually set this item into any and I have a diamond ring, I have a hollow ring, I have a solitaire ring, I have a double hollow, and all this stuff. I have a necklace, and I can put this gemstone into many items. And once the gemstone will be sold, I can remove all the items that include virtually. I will say, okay, it was ordered with a specific necklace. Very good, but I have 100 products with this gemstone. So once the item was sold, I will be able to remove all the products which have the same gemstone from the marketplaces, from all my online presence, because the gemstone does not exist. So this is the difference between when you sell jewelry and the iPhone, because iPhone is an iPhone. Okay, so you have an iPhone, you cannot actually create it once it was sold. And if you look online, about 80% of online marketplaces, if we go to the best sellers on eBay, okay, let's take, for example, okay, it's a very famous, one of our clients, it's in a top eBay sellers. I'm located within exclusion. I'm not sure that we'll be able to see items because they do not sell to Israel. Yeah. So if we look, we will see. I will do it easier. We will see. Yeah. I will. No. We will see that about 80% of the jewelry sold on eBay is not a real jewelry. Oh, we can immediately see this. As you can see here, this item is not a real item. It's a visualization. It's an image. This is not a real item. Okay. So many items. This is clearly a visualization, right? So I don't know who these people are, but when we just statistically will see that top sellers, they do not sell real products. And this is what Valigara does here. Based in Valigara, we have the technology to virtually create all the variations. If we have this gemstone can be virtually put in a white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, 18 karat, 14 karat. It can be created in size 4, 4.5, 4 3/4, to 10 US sizes. So it will be done with the technology. Yes. Right.
Quick question, it's Rami. So what you're saying is that the majority of the stock that's on these sites are CAD
80%. It's known figures, about 80%. Yes. Very simple, because with Valigara, you can go in Valigara and create 1,000 products in 1 second. Because actually, you're not selling a product, you're selling a promise to deliver the product. Now, most e-commerce operators, like Brilliant Tears, as I showed, they have a very good establishment, and they are able to create rings like this in 3 days. So they have a very small amount of diamonds laying in the office, and once the specific parameter, like here, okay, it was sold in 1.20 DVS2 stone. They take the stone, they create the ring, and they just send it in 3 days, 5 days. So depending on the marketplace, each marketplace behaves differently. On eBay, it's very good if you, or on large marketplaces, it's very good if you're able to send the item in 3 to 5 days. But other marketplaces like Etsy, for example, they are much more tolerant, and it's okay if you produce in 2 weeks even. So it depends on the marketplace itself. So the thing is that what we do in Valigara, and let's forget about Valigara. The idea is first we digitize ourselves. So we have a lot of technology in Valigara which helps you to digitize yourself. This is the first step. So you create the stock of the Gemstones here. As you can see, there are product stocks in Valigara separately, gemstone stock separately, metal stock, and once this actually inventory is digitized, then we can go in and create the online catalog. Creating the online catalog, even before, I don't have any online presence, but we even have clients who use it only for the catalog, because you need something. You need to make the next step from the Excel. And one day, having this catalog, you will probably click, select all my 2000, and then Etsy, and then must post to Etsy. And then eBay must post to eBay, and then Amazon must post to Amazon, Shopify, and so on and so on and so on. So the idea is that once the information is there, there's a lot of very smart algorithms in Valigara and so on, but this is not important. Once you have your data ready, you're good to go to online. So the question is, how do we use this? So in Valigara, we almost don't have clients who use just one channel. Why? Because it simply, once you have already done this 80% of the information of taking the images, inserting all the information about the gemstones, what is the clarity, what is the you will see here in Valigara that you really can go deep into each one of the gemstones. What is the clarity, cut, color, shape, polish, treatment? Why is this important? Because when we sell online, if we go into eBay, for example, and we will look what is eBay actually asking you to provide, you will see that eBay already is professional enough to expect from you. This is what eBay awaits from you. Okay, eBay knows already, and Amazon and all marketplaces know how people buy. So they expect you to provide what is the main color, what is the treatment, what is the certification, what is the cut, the ring size, the brand, the clarity, all this stuff. And then what Valigara does, Valigara already very optimized sends it to the marketplaces because she knows how eBay and Amazon and Etsy expect to get this information. So this is already the technology part, right? But first step is digitizing the catalog once, and maybe you'll be in Etsy in a year. But once you have the digitized catalog, you're capable of going there by just okay, I just take my products, and today I'm ready to go to eBay. I opened an eBay account. I was accepted by. I applied for Amazon. It takes time to apply to Amazon and be accepted to sell fine jewelry if you're with a solid metals. So there are limitations. Once you're accepted, done. Or once your Shopify website was completed, post. So here, what Valigara does here, there is a lot of optimization. Like Valigara can automatically create titles for all the products, because titles will be different. Amazon expects you to have 250 characters, eBay expects you to have 80, Etsy expects you to have 140, so you will use different generators. We call it, as you can see here, generators. And Valigara, you just, okay, I have 200 products, virtual products. I can in 1 minute create eBay titles, Amazon titles, eBay descriptions, eBay pricing, Etsy pricing, Shopify tags, and all this stuff. So once we have, what is the idea here? The idea is to take the technical information of the product and convert it into marketing information about the product. Like here, This title was definitely created in Valigara from, okay, this is the gemstone type, this is the product type, this is the metal name, this is the purity. So once all this was taken, this is the dimension, and there is some template that was created by this user, has about 5,000 products. No, it's a little bit 2,000 products. So all this was done automatically. Now, if I want to adjust it to Christmas, it will take me 5 seconds to create a different generator and generate again a different title, which will be optimized for Christmas. And then for Valentine's, again, 5 seconds, 5 minutes, let's say, and you have a different titles. Mother's Day, boom, Mother's Day. So the same about the titles, the same about pricing, the same about descriptions, all this. You can, when you go online, by the way, it's important, it's very much not easy, with no relation to Valigara or not, it's not easy to start a business with 20 products. I'm not speaking about models, 20 SKUs, like let's say the same product, if it's the same model, if it can be with a 1 carat diamond and 1.5 carat diamond and 80 points, 90 points, or it can be white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, and different sizes. So all these are different products, right? So it can be 20 models. 20 to 30 models is at least my recommendation. And then the next step, you have to provide create some offering. So normally stores, each marketplace behaves differently, but a good store on Etsy, for example, starts with 300 products. eBay is good with 800 products. Amazon is better to have about 2,000, and it's again, you can quickly reach 2,000 from 20 models, because on each model you can create different combinations of metals and gemstones. So it will be quite easy. The numbers are not that they might sound strange, because sometimes you think, oh, I only have 50, but you have maybe 50 models, not products.
Igor, can I ask you a question?
Sure, yes.
Because you're dealing with retailers, and a lot of the retailers, they carry a lot of stock, made-up stock. So it's different from what you're saying. It's not just the information; they have physical stock to back it up.
Yes.
So is it common that someone would say, "Well, I've got these made-up rings. Why don't I digitize all my stock as it is? Forget talking about variations and combinations.
Mm-hmm.
I could actually just put all my stock on as it is, and then I guess I could probably say, well, that ring, I make it in a 1.5 carat, I make that in 2 carat, and then I start to add the variations to it. But I'd say that a lot of, I mean, even the people who are on could, overnight talk about, 1,000 pieces without an effort. But I mean, they could start off by just saying, this is what I have.
Yes,
right
of
now,
course.
Like
Of course. The idea is that, again, as we like to say, Valigara is an enabling technology. But of course, many people start with a real stock. More than this, take an example of somebody who is selling unique jewelry. We have a very strong sellers. It's a very specific business of having unique jewelry. But then you even cannot offer the variations. It's just a one-of-a-kind piece which cannot be reproduced, right? Then, of course, you work with a real stock. What happens in this case with a real stock? It's not easy to have it, right? You have to really produce it, which means you have to invest a lot. Online, you have additional ability to grow exponentially by just having the right production ability, but not the real stock. But of course, many people start with real, and it's a very big advantage because you have to take into account the fact that when people buy online, they ask questions, and very often they just send you the question, please could you send me the image of these earrings on the body, on the ear. And then if you don't have the physical product, then you say, sorry, I cannot. And if you do have a real stock, it's a huge advantage because you really know what you can sell better, and also you can ship faster because it's ready. So it's a huge advantage, but it's a costly advantage. Okay? This is why we explain that at the end, it's a combination. People start with the real stock, and then they expand into virtual stock. So at the end, it's a combination. Yes, of course.
Thank you.
So yeah, so the last thing I just mentioned that that I think that both Rob and I think that Gus recall social. So social is very important component, of course. So how we see the real e-commerce. What is the concept with the real e-commerce? Now, of course, everyone wants to have a successful website. So from Valigara, you can just connect your Shopify website and post your items to your Magento or to your WooCommerce or Shopify. These are three more, or you can even build a website in Valigara. So so yes, this is one step. But what we normally just explain warmly that there are three steps of going online. If you go with your website, it's not easy to bring traffic in. Why? Because there are already very strong players in the websites. So what is the difference between Google and Amazon? Amazon gets fees when he sells something in your store. Google doesn't really care. So if there is some fine jewelry website which was built 20 years ago and it was built correctly, he will always appear first on Google. Now on Amazon, when you start selling on Amazon, Amazon just checks, wait, I gave, this is a new seller, I pushed several clients into his store and he sells well. So because he is based on fees, it will be much easier to promote a new store on Amazon than on Google. So what actually we recommend? We always recommend some combination. What are the three steps? The three steps are, the first step is the marketplaces. Why? Because they are simply cheaper. On eBay or on Amazon, you can start with a budget like $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month. When you start running your, the marketing budget, when you're running your website, the numbers are much higher. So we recommend on some kind of combination. Now, social is amazing. There are three steps of selling. One is the external marketplaces because they are cheaper to start. Then the last step is your website. You do want to have your clients in your website. But what is in the middle? How does it work? Okay, so we have a client who buys this nice earrings from us on Etsy, and we have to stay in touch with them. After he buys, he does not immediately. We want to bring them for the second purchase. We want to bring him into our website, but he doesn't need it immediately. We need to create some glue, some engagement process when we stay in touch with the clients. So how do we do this? We do this with email marketing, and we do this with social marketing, exactly as you guys spoke about. So that we create the second sale. Already we prefer to do it in our website because what Amazon and eBay and all these guys do, they create trust. They actually provide trust. They say, I checked this seller, I know that he's okay. So first purchase is much easier to do on external marketplaces. And then after the client is in, so what actually happens? So Valigara, technically, we push the product into Etsy. The Etsy brings us some orders, and most important, even above the order itself, we get the client. We get the information about the client. And now in this order that we have created, these are demo stuff, it's not that interesting, but now we have a list of the clients who actually purchased from us. Maybe they purchased on eBay, maybe on Amazon, maybe on Etsy, maybe on Bonanza, maybe Walmart, maybe Sears. Depends on where you are and what your type of business. What I'm trying to do after that, of course, I will run here some email campaigns, and these email campaigns will be very, very precise, because when I send an email, I want to send an offer only to the clients who purchased from me, for example, something made of 925 silver, and only for guys who purchased from me, let's say a tooling, because Valigara is very jewelry based. So I want now to take only clients who bought from me an emerald between 1 to 1.5 carat. Well, carat is, yeah, well, a carat, and in a specific shape and with a specific metal, with a specific maybe collection, like evening jewelry, and I will find these guys and I will send them a nice email, and this email will be not spammy. It will be very relevant. My offers will be always very relevant to them because I know what they bought from me before. If somebody bought from me white gold, I wouldn't offer him a yellow gold. This guy definitely likes white gold. If somebody bought from me a treated diamond, I would not offer him a non-treated diamond. Probably I will try to offer, well, maybe, but it will be better if I offer him a treated diamond again, because this is his choice. So this is what you do to stay in touch with your clients. And for social, of course, it's very important. It's like a glue. We call it a glue. First stage is just get the client details. It's you push yourself outside. After that, stay engaged. We have here, yeah, well, some social model which automatically will post your products to your Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google, Tumblr, Flickr, just to stay in touch with your clients. And then when, well, according to your strategy, of course, you will try to very slowly, very gently, and according to the marketplace rule, it's very important, according to marketplace's rules, you will try to push the client, to pull the clients into the website. So this is the flow as we see. I have a very nice actually demo on the not a demo but explanation. But these are three steps. Make the first sale. Stay engaged with the client with the social media marketing. Use the website where you pull the clients, because on your website you don't have competition, you don't have fees, and this is your branded sale, which is very important. You want to create a long-run business. So this is what Valigara actually does. She supports. It's an enabling technology again. She supports these three steps by pushing items to completely managing the external marketplaces, and then creating the mail marketing, the social marketing. This is the second step, and then of course fetching all the orders from all the marketplaces together, so it simplifies your production process and so on. Completely supporting this invoicing, fulfillment, all this stuff, and then by slowly taking people into the website. So this is synergy as we like it. We can talk about it another 3 hours, but I would like from here to somehow stop and maybe ask questions, if it makes sense.
Yeah, sorry, it's Rami speaking. Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank you. I think that was excellent and very informative. I hope everyone else got as much out of it as I did. And maybe if a few people have some questions. You threw out a name of a whole bunch of it. I can see at the top some of those websites. Is Bonanza and Magento, are these actually jewelry selling websites?
No. Bonanza is a website. Magento is a technology. It's like WooCommerce, or yeah, it's the most comprehensive, I would say, system. Yes, in the world. I would, if I may just very simplify, I would not recommend people who are not concentrated on jewelry commerce for now to use Magento technology, because it's very powerful, but it's very demanding. It's like
Right.
if you are not racing, you don't get a racing car because it's hard to operate.
Right.
So
Sure.
normally what we see, it's Shopify or WooCommerce, the two technologies that are most commonly used. They're quite easy. They're to operate.
Cool.
Okay.
Sure. I think all of us will find a lot of. Sorry, interrupting you, Rob. Igor, I'm glad you recorded it because I think a lot of us would find it very useful to refer back to that certain parts.
Yes, sure. This is why I just thought of it. So I will upload it and it will be available for you to go over it. Again, it's like when we speak very generally of how to go online. Of course, it's a process. I try to pitch small small part from everything.
Yeah.
I think this
Great.
understanding of the process of digitizing yourself, okay, and then next step being actually able to use it, even without a big online presence, right? Just having your online catalog for your retail, because we have, for example, we have solutions for wholesalers, like creating catalogs, working with your distributors, even creating PDF catalogs and sending them by email. This can be also useful. There is a lot of things that you can do, but from my perspective, to explain how you go online, this is the process. You support these pillars in your business, you digitize yourself, and then you expand online, and then the technology really understanding correctly where you want to be in 2-3 years. And of course, here I will allow myself, again, in my vision, it's not a 3 months process. It makes totally no sense to make all this preparations and hustle if you're not planning 2-3 years forward. I hope what do you think, Rami? I think it's quite obvious. It's important to say this point. It's not a tactical move, it's a strategical move. It's understanding that today we are on 15%, okay, and we are growing every year. We're growing about 15% on e-commerce. The moment the augmented reality and virtual reality is good enough, this is why we see all these goggles, all these 3D glasses, right? The moment this exists, the e-commerce, especially the wearable, and jewelry is a wearable product. The moment that augmented reality is strong enough, and this is the disturbing technology today, the augmented reality. The moment it's common, it will grow even harder. It's expected to grow by additional 30% in 1 year. It's amazing numbers. And with that, we are still on 15%. We're just in the beginning. So understanding this strategical move that going online is quite obvious, right? But for many reasons, for the technology going forward, because of the 3D, because of the changing behavior of people that do not like to walk into the stores, because of the manufacturers who switch actually from B2B to B2C directly, they shorten their supply chain, just open some brand and that's it. So this is a strategical move of digitizing yourself, because this is the way people communicate today. It's not about eBay, right? It's about the way that the retail world changes.
Excellent. Cool.